8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj, read by Soundithavam. The chief of the Prevention of the Spread of Disease Unit, Specialist Dr. Samitha Ginige, says around 31 million COVID vaccines have been received so far. The Agriculture Minister says the government has the full authority to determine the rice prices in this country. The island-wide quarantine curfew to be lifted on Friday. Sri Lanka records 61 new COVID-related deaths. The coronavirus cases count moves up with 685 new infections. The government plans to reopen schools in 4 stages. In news overseas, North Korea says it fired new hypersonic missile. In sports, Pep Guardiola's side the latest victims of Lionel Messi. The Ministry of Agriculture, Mahindananda Alutgamage, says the government has the full authority to determine the rice prices in this country. The rice mill owners cannot decide on the prices, the minister added. The government takes decisions to protect the farmers while placing a reasonable price to the consumers. That was the main reason the government decided to abolish the Rice Price Control Gazette notification, the minister said. The government has decided to lift the quarantine curfew, which is currently in effect across the island, on the 1st of October. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is instructed to lift the island-wide quarantine curfew at 4 a.m. on Friday the 1st, Army Commander General Shavendra Silva said. He stated that the restrictions and new health guidelines to be implemented following the lifting of the curfew will be notified later. The quarantine curfew has been initially imposed on August 20th at 10 p.m. following a rapid rise in new COVID-19 cases, and it was subsequently extended on several occasions. Meanwhile, the official death toll from COVID-19 now stands at 12,786. As the daily count of deaths from the COVID-19 infection continues to drop below 100 in Sri Lanka, only 61 fatalities were confirmed by the Director General of Health Services on Tuesday, September 29th. According to the Department of Government Information, 25 males and 36 females have succumbed to the novel coronavirus in the recent past. The new victims include 14 people aged between 30 and 59 years and 47 others aged 60 years and above. Following the latest development, Sri Lanka's COVID-related death toll now stands at 12,847. The Epidemiology Unit of the Ministry of Health says 685 more people were tested positive for the novel coronavirus so far today. This brings the total number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 reported in the country to 516,209. Reportedly, more than 46,500 virus-infected persons are undergoing treatment at the moment at hospitals, treatment centres and undergoing home-based care. The total number of coronavirus recoveries reached 456,857 after 770 more patients were discharged from medical care earlier today. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Minister of Education says the government plans to reopen schools in 4 stages. The vaccination process for the teachers and school staff has almost been completed. Meanwhile, the Deputy Director General of Health Services, Dr. Hemantha Herath, says it is advisable to open schools with less than 200 students when opening schools in the first phase. He said more attention should be given to schools with less facilities when opening them. Dr. Herath said that the Health Ministry has paid attention on the nutrition programs of children. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera says around 5,000 metric tons of food is being wasted daily in Sri Lanka. This is a serious issue. According to the FAO, it is reported that 1/3 of food produced has been wasted in the world. This information was revealed at a meeting held at the Environmental Ministry today. The government plans to reduce the food waste by 50% in 2030, the minister added. The 55th Annual Conference of the Asian Development Bank will be held in Sri Lanka in May next year. A relevant MOU in this regard was signed today at the Finance Ministry under the chairmanship of Minister Basil Rajapaksa. The representatives of the South Asian Department of the ADB were also present on this occasion. That concludes local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
The chief of the Prevention of Disease Unit, Specialist Dr. Samita Ginige, says around 31 million COVID vaccines have been received so far. The country has seen around 54% of the population receiving 2 doses of the vaccine. Sri Lanka has been one of the leading countries which has successfully vaccinated a country's largest population. The process is continuing without any interruption, Dr. Ginige added, and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watchlight.
The vaccination program is being carried out with the recommendations of the expert committees of the world and our country, the specialists pointed out and said that successful results can be achieved through precise understanding and interest without undue fear. The vaccination of children with congenital diseases began a few days ago at the Lady Ridgeway Hospital for Children in Colombo, paediatric neurophysician Dr. Anuruddha Padenia said. He advised parents to take the children who are suffering from chronic diseases, including diabetes, neurological diseases, kidney disease, heart disease, thalassemia, and diseases of the urinary tract and esophagus for vaccination. Dr. Padenia said that they plan to administer the vaccine with the permission of the parents, as well as with the recommendation of the relevant specialist doctor when they visit the clinics where they are being treated. That came to you in Watchlight.
World News.
Moving on to the world news headlines, North Korea says it fired new hypersonic missile. Fumio Kishida wins race to become Japan's next prime minister. And UK petrol supply crisis, the army will be delivering fuel in days. North Korea has claimed that it successfully tested a new hypersonic missile called Hwasong-8 on Tuesday. The state media said the new missile was one of the 5 most important new weapon systems laid out in its 5-year military development plan. They call the missile a strategic weapon, which usually means it has nuclear capabilities. Tuesday's launch is another indication of Pyongyang's growing weapons technology amid strict sanctions. Fumio Kishida has won a race to lead Japan's ruling Liberal Democratic Party, LPD, putting him on course to become the next prime minister. Mr. Kishida will succeed Yoshihide Suga, who decided to step down after just 1 year in office. His first mission as prime minister will be to lead the LDP to victory in an upcoming general election. The party's popularity fell after it pushed to host the Tokyo Olympics despite public opposition. Soldiers will be delivering fuel in the next few days in a bid to ease petrol supply issues, the business secretary has said. Kwasi Kwarteng admitted the past few days, which have seen long queues outside petrol stations and some pumps running dry, had been difficult. However, he denied there was a crisis in UK fuel supplies and said the situation was stabilizing. Some 150 military drivers are ready to drive the fuel tankers. Back to the headlines of the world news. North Korea says it fired new hypersonic missile. Fumio Kishida wins race to become Japan's next prime minister. And UK petrol supply crisis, the army will be delivering fuel in days. That concludes this bulletin of world news, and on to development news. The COVID-19 treatment facility hotline 1904 has received around 30,000 short messages. But the unofficial data shows the service machinery was able to treat more than 150,000 home-based patients during this time. The chairman of the National Fundamental Studies, Professor Atula Sumatipala, says the emergency call hotline 297 received around 50,000 SMS. That came to you in development news.
Sports news.
Manchester City's previous high-profile Champions League defeats have often been followed by forensic inquests into manager Pep Guardiola's overthinking and how he sometimes defeats himself. City's loss to Chelsea in last season's final was Exhibit A in this argument, a classic example of Guardiola attempting to fix something that was not broken, as he went in without a holding midfielder with expensive consequences. That's sports news. We'll look at business news next.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are. Download the NSB Pay app from the Play Store or the App Store for free now. For more information, call your nearest NSB branch or 0112 379 379. Conditions apply.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The CSC yesterday catapulted to a new high in terms of price indices, turnover and volume on the back of improved sentiment triggering strong buying. For example, the all-share price index reached a highest ever recorded 9,339 points yesterday. Until then, the highest level to be reached was 9,335 points on September 2nd, stock market analysts said. That's business news, economic news to follow.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka's merchandise export sector has shown a notable improvement in 2021 compared to the pandemic-affected 2020. As per the latest customs data, export earnings have averaged $985 million during the 8 months ending August 2021, compared to a monthly average of $837 million in 2020, while the average earnings have amounted to $1,064 million during the June to August 2021. This is an appreciable development as the merchandise export sector, comprising diverse products, is the largest foreign exchange earner in most countries, including Sri Lanka. That's economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Weather report.
The Met Department says the showery condition over the southwestern part of the island is likely to enhance during the next few days. Showers and thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamu and central provinces and in the Galle and Matara districts. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in these areas. Showers and thundershowers will occur at several places in the northern, eastern and Uva provinces in the evening or night. This weather report was published this evening at 7:30 p.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. Meanwhile, the international weather forecast website AccuWeather.com reports that the day's weather was observed to be bright with occasional showers. Today's daytime temperature was around 28 degrees Celsius. There will be light showers in many places in the Colombo district in the night. Tonight's temperature will be around 26 degrees Celsius and there will be scattered showers in selected spots late in the night. The ground temperature would be 27 degrees Celsius at the time of this news broadcast. The air quality index AQI is 18, which shows fair conditions in Colombo. The air quality is generally acceptable for most individuals. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The Chief of the Prevention of Spread of Disease Unit, Specialist Dr. Samita Ginige, says around 31 million COVID vaccines have been received so far. The Agriculture Minister says the government has the full authority to determine the rice prices in this country. The island-wide quarantine curfew to be lifted on Friday. Sri Lanka records 61 new COVID-related deaths. The coronavirus cases count moves up with 685 new infections. The government plans to reopen schools in 4 stages. North Korea says it fired new hypersonic missile. And Pep Guardiola cites the latest victims of Lionel Messi. That concludes tonight's news broadcast.